Good evening. Really going to get rolling at 6 o'clock. We'll start on time and try to get you guys moving as quick as possible. My name is Dave Goodwin. I'm the principal here at Kitsap High School, and I am here to welcome you. I have a very easy part tonight. I get to say a few words, and I'm going to introduce the senior team. So that's my type of presentation here. So, but I just want to say again, welcome, and let you know that the senior year, I think you've talked to most seniors that have gone through the process. I'll tell you the senior year goes the fastest, so it's really quick. And my guess is that we probably have some parents here that can't believe that your student is a senior as well, because it does go quick. And we're here because this can also be a little bit of a stressful year sometimes if you don't have all the information, and we're here to help you and guide you. So that's the purpose of tonight, and that knowing that we're there all year for you to come to us if you have any issues. This is the first live senior parent night we've had since 2019, so it's nice to be back live in person. So I assume that there'll be some more people probably strolling in as we go, and that's great. So tonight I'm going to introduce the senior team here. We have Assistant Principal Charlotte Cole. We have Counselor Stacy Talley, who's in charge of Alphabet A through K, and for Alphabet L through Z, we have Heather Hayes, and our senior dean, Marcus Logue, is unfortunately home with some sick kids tonight, so he can't be here. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and again, welcome.
Thank you for being here. Very much appreciated. Oh, guess we should. He did. Tonight's objective is obviously to talk about graduation requirements. We want to talk about the post-high school options, along with questions and answers that you might have as we go through the evening. Oh. And then the main thing that we want to just stress is that seniors have to have 30 credits to graduate, and it's not an option, and they've talked about different pathways of which ways they have to go to get there. Most students are online, but we also know we have some that are not, and so those are things that we are going to focus on this year to make it a successful year for your graduate. There you go. And now Stacy.
Thanks, Charla. Okay, so as Ms. Cole mentioned on the last slide, in addition to the courses and credits that your students need to graduate, there are other requirements like the high school and beyond plan. So your students will be completing that this year. They actually started that in middle school and 7th grade. So they should all know how to access their high school and beyond plan through Hello ID. It's through an online program called Zello. And this is how you access Hello ID through the district website. So your students can pull this up at any time from home and work on it. Even if they just have 5 minutes and they want to chip away at it, they can. Excuse me. I'm going to try not to cough through this whole presentation. So if you get home and you ask your student, what's your plan for after high school? And they say, I don't know. Well, they can pull up their high school and beyond plan. You can walk through it with them and they can show you what they've been working on. Sorry. The personality style, learning style, they start those in middle school, and it kind of helps them drive their high school and beyond plan to focus on what career might be good for them, and then dive into what do I need to make that happen? Do I need a degree? What schools offer that degree? So it does really have a lot of really good information. These 10 assignments here on the bottom half, those are the 10 assignments that they need to complete in order to complete their high school and beyond plan. There's some optional lessons in there, some other things to explore and dive into, but these 10 things are what they need to have completed in order to meet that requirement. And they should already know all of this. We went into every single U.S. history classroom last June, And we gave them a piece of paper that said what they've completed and what they still need to complete. So if they log into Zello, it also kind of shows their progress, what they need to work on also. So another requirement is the graduation pathway. So we are really lucky that we have plenty of options to meet this graduation pathway. All students take the Smarter Balanced State tests, the math and English. If they do not pass that, though, they have the opportunity to retake it. If they still do not pass, there's plenty of other options for them to meet that pathway. So Ms. Hayes and I have spent a lot of time combing through every single student, looking at their situation individually to see, have they already met a graduation pathway or are they in the process? So if your students say they didn't pass the Math Smarter Balance, they might be sitting in a Bridge to College math class. So that passing that class would then fulfill the pathway. So there's plenty of options, plenty of pathways. If you're concerned or not sure, is my student, have they met the pathway? Feel free to reach out to us. There's the SAT, which is coming up on Saturday, November 5th. So if your student's taking that, they need to study for it, do the best they can, try to pass that test. Another option is the ASVAB test. That's coming up here at school as well on October 12th. Another option is the CTE sequence, so a sequence of career and tech ed classes that align with their pathway for after high school, their plan for after high school. So those all, everything that they're doing this year, they're going to meet that pathway through those different options. So like I said, make sure they're studying for those tests they're signed up for, make sure they're doing the best they can to pass their classes this year so they can meet that pathway. So in addition to their courses and credits and making sure all of our students are going to graduate and walk across the finish line in June, we also want to make sure every single student has a plan for life after high school. So I'm going to introduce our career counselor, Mrs. Nass, so that she can dive into a little bit deeper into these other options for after high school. Thanks, Susie.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. As you can see, there's lots of options, and you guys know that. And we believe that every student has a right option for them. There is not one right option. So the challenge we have is figuring it out what path they are going to take. And so together, we will go through this. So in the Career Center, and hopefully your student knows where it is, and you guys are also welcome to email, call, or stop in if you would like. But we do have college visits with the representatives. We currently are probably halfway through. I just feel like this podium blocks me because I'm a little short. So, the students are welcome to come in order to do that. Hopefully you seniors out here know how to do that, but just in case, come to their Career Center and sign up. There's just a little sign-up sheet for each college. It lists the date and the time, and then you grab a green pass. Your teacher has the right to say no. You might have a test or a group project or something that you're working on where you can't leave. But if your name is on there, then I'll know you had wanted information, and I'll gather as much as I can from the representative and then get it to you. Okay, so if I don't know, I can't help you. So just come in and see if there's anything that has passed, one of the colleges has passed and you missed out on it or you were sick or something, we certainly can get you the material and you and I can have a chat because I do listen to all of the presentations. So I'm also helping with college applications, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few slides, but just know that I am a resource. And then financial aid. Many of you through Parent Square, I hope that's working out. I'm hosting a financial aid filing night, October 6th. It is nearing capacity. It's wonderful. It's kind of like Mr. Goodwin said, it's so nice to be back in person, and we're getting full. If you wanted to attend that, but it is full, I put a cap on it this morning. So if you find that you can't attend it, there is going to be other opportunities, either with me here on campus, or you can do a virtual one with the state. So That's yours. I need to say, because I just was dealing with an email, you're not filing yet. The financial aid application process opens October 1st. If you started an application, it's practice, because it was the application for this year's college freshmen. So it says 22, 23, which is confusing because that's the year we're in, but you're attending college or trade school or community college in the year of 23, 24. So if you did anything with that, you're just practicing, which is great. You can help me out on the 6th then. I do help with employment assistance. I'm proud to say that some seniors last year really took advantage of it, and they left here with full-time jobs at the shipyard and at Boeing and at Bangor. So they were starting their full-time career in July. Everything was already set for them. They did get to set a start date, so they got a little bit of a summer, but then they were able to jump right in and start working. So we do those all year long. I'm currently in contact with several other businesses that are hopefully willing to hire kids right out of high school. And then the work-based learning, the WBL, is if your child is currently working right now and they have what's called a qualifying class, in here with CTE, so it's a class that connects to their job that they have, they could get work-based learning credit right now. And so we try to catch them. The counselors do a good job, but for example, if a student is working at a grocery store and they had culinary, they could get it because they're dealing with food in both applications. If they had medical careers and they're working in a nursing home, that would be a qualifying class. So your student can come see me if they have a question. I do help with the military. Our military recruiters come here. They rotate every Monday. So typically it's Army is the first Monday and Navy's the second Monday, and it just kind of rotates like that. But anytime your student wants to sign up and meet with a recruiter, they can come in. We, again, have a sign-up sheet, and our recruiters check it. I do need to say we have not yet given out the recruiters any of your information. We do that in November, allowing you to let us know if you want to opt out of that. And in order to opt out, you just need to let one of us know. You can email the grade level counselor or myself, and then we put it into Skyward, and then when we run the report, your child is not on there. So I know a couple people have already received contact from recruiters. We haven't given it out yet. It's probably from last year. So. And then we also help with resume writing and interviewing. So some post-high school options are obviously trade schools are a great opportunity. I think a lot of people are realizing that our trades are very valuable, and we have a lot of wonderful opportunities locally, but also along the I-5 corridor. And if your child also wanted to get away, they have on the east side a lot of good schools. They don't all offer the same opportunities. So like auto mechanic is not here at Olympic College. They would have to go to Clover Park or Bates. Fire science is at Bates. And so there's some different ones like that. But again, I can help your child with that, or your seniors. 2-year colleges are great options. And then of course there's the 4-year options. Washington State has what's called a Washington College Grant, realizing that a lot of families maybe fall in that middle income area. And as long as you attend Washington, many families will qualify for the Washington College Grant. I'll put up a link in October where that is, and you can see it's based on your number of people in the household and your income. That's now Ms. Hayes.
Okay, so I always say that senior year is the busiest year, and seniors never believe me. And I will tell you that this time of year, from now until after Christmas break, is the busiest time of your senior year, and for you parents. It can be really, really overwhelming, and so just know that Miss Tally and I and Miss Nass are here to help you guys go through this process. Please take advantage of the filing of your FAFSA night. Please take advantage. She's got some sessions for kids like during the days, I think on Thursdays, those are gonna start up. Please utilize those times because we don't want people to miss deadlines and we don't want anyone to not get their questions answered because it can be very overwhelming. I was a first generation college student and I had to sort of navigate that process myself because both of my parents went into the workforce and worked their way up. And I'll tell you, just myself alone trying to navigate it was very difficult. So please utilize us. We'll do our best to help you. I will say we have 400 students, so remember deadlines and remember coming to us sooner than later so that we can meet your needs. Right now, you want to be looking, if you haven't already done a college visit, it's really important. You can maybe schedule a tour and get on campus, schedule a college visit. You can do that online as well. You want to be looking at the program of study that your student wants to go into or that you want to go into. You want to look at class sizes, you want to look at population, you want to look at the environment in which your student is going to be in, whether it's public or private, 2-year, 4-year, and make sure they have the major that you actually want to go to. I already talked about college visits. If you can't go and visit a campus, Ms. Nass talked about the colleges coming here, and so the students just have to go down to the Career Center. And those are announced, I think, on WTV and through Parent Square. So students can just go right into the Career Center, sign up for those presentations, and they can get information directly from the representatives. So on collegeboard.org, if you're already not on there and you don't have a profile, you definitely want to do that. There's sort of a checklist and a to-do list that's really helpful as you sort of navigate the timelines. Taking your SAT and ACT. Some schools are not requiring these, but if they say optional items or optional materials, you should take them and you should submit them. So right now, in order to schedule your SAT or your ACT, because the November test date is, the deadline is quickly approaching, if it didn't already, it's quickly approaching, you need to go to collegeboard.org, that's for your SAT, or act.org, and that's for the ACT, and then the SAT is collegeboard.org. That is how you sign up to take those tests, and your score reports take about 4 weeks to come in. What is really great about it, though, is when you sign up for that test, make sure you indicate you get 4 free test scores at the time of testing. So if you know where you're applying, right when you sign up, indicate the schools that you want those score reports to be sent to, and they're sent for free. If you wait until afterwards to buy another report, that they're going to charge you to send another report. So if you don't end up, let's say you send one to Central and you decided after the fact that you don't want to go there, no big deal. The scores have already gone there. They won't look at it if they don't get a complete application packet. So FAFSA, free application for student aid. It's absolutely mandatory that you do this if you're going into a 4-year, 2-year technical school that requires it. Even if grandma or grandpa have a fund that they want to pay for your school, you still have to go through this process because what you're gonna do is, and it goes off your tax return, you're gonna go through the process and you're gonna get an award letter from the school that your student is accepted to, and then at that time, you can decline things that they might want you to take, like certain loans or things like that, based on what your FAFSA comes out to. And Susie's really good about helping with that and what that looks like. So that opens on October 1st. Right now, you should be applying to colleges. Some deadlines, including UW, are early, like November 15th. So if you're looking, make sure you're looking online, you're following those deadlines. They don't wait. They're very firm deadlines, not like sometimes here at school where you can ask for an extension. That doesn't happen. They don't wait on you. So make sure you know your deadlines. And the earliest one right now that I've seen is UW. It's November 15th, so for our state colleges. And then you want to make your final choice by March. Obviously, if you get your acceptance letters back and you know that you want to go there and you like the financial aid package and you've talked about that as a family, you can commit and you can make that decision sooner than later, and you should, because then you can get better housing, you can get better dorms, things like that, but the latest would be May. These are just some of the examples of the college visits that are here coming on our campus. And so I think those are all listed on Parent Square and are announced on WTV. But these, if you want to take a minute and snap a picture, or if you want, we can show you the slide at the end. These are some of the colleges that are coming here to our school to give your students a presentation if they sign up for it. I see lots of cameras, so I'll wait just a minute.
This did change, some of you, or this is correct. This is the correct one. Whitman, for example, Whitman changed because it's, oh no, this is the old one. I'm sorry. Whitman College is not that date. It's homecoming assembly during that time frame. So they opted to change the date rather than have no one come.
Okay, so applying to schools. So there are many different ways to apply to school, but one of the most common ways, and that we're seeing a lot, is QuestBridge and Common App. Common App it's a way for you to apply to multiple schools with one application, and you can go to the college or the college's website. Most of them use the college or the Common App, but what's really important about it is that you fill it out completely. Every single line has to be filled out, and then as the counselor piece, it's really important for us, and I'll talk about it a little bit more, but if your student indicates us as the counselor and they want a letter of recommendation from us, which I don't always recommend, but I'll tell you why in a minute. If you want a letter of recommendation for us, you have to go get the letter of recommendation form in the guidance office and give us 2 weeks. There's 400 of you, and as you can imagine, they're all coming in. I've already done some that last week, and I've already done some this week. So they're coming in at rapid speed, and I don't want to miss your deadline either, so give us at least 2 weeks. You need a transcript, and how we do that is through Parchment. So if you go onto Quick Forms on the South Kitsap website and scroll down to Parchment, that's how you order your transcript. You want to request those scores. So remember earlier when I said your student signs up for the SAT and the ACT and they get 4 score reports? Let's say you didn't put the school that you really wanted and you have to go back in to College Board or ACT. You need to request those scores be sent directly from ACT and SAT. The colleges will not accept them from us. We don't ever hardly see them anyways. The kids might tell them or email them, but they won't take them from us. So you have to request them directly from College Board or ACT. If a college application says optional or essay optional, we say write the essay. Okay, that tells you want to separate yourself a little bit from all the other people that are applying. Maybe you have a personal story. Maybe you have a hardship. Maybe your family has been through something, traumatic this year. Maybe there's nothing like that, but that your parents an alumni of that college. It's really important to write the essay, take the time to separate yourself out. If you need help writing that essay, once you're done, our English teachers have been really great about proofing those essays and kind of looking at them for you. Always, always, always upload supplemental materials. So whether, again, it's that letter of recommendation, maybe they want, a resume, whatever it is that school wants, always make sure you upload those items, and then again, give us 2 weeks to write that letter. If it's recommended, like I already said, do it, okay? And then apply for financial aid, which we've already talked about as well. Deadlines. Again, I stressed this at the very beginning of my presentation. We have had sad kids in our offices saying, I don't get to go. And we're like, well, why not? They missed the deadline. And they don't wait. So make sure they know the deadlines, put it on a calendar. My recommendation, if you're applying to multiple schools, print out a blank calendar, put the school deadlines on there, and kind of create a timeline for your applications. When you're gonna ask for letters of recommendation, when you're gonna submit this college deadlines first, and kind of break it out just to make it a little less overwhelming. Parchment, as I said earlier, if you go onto the South Kitsap School District website under quick links and scroll down, you can request transcripts. If you're a current student, alumni, military, that's how you request it. Make sure you enter your name as it's legally listed in Skyward. Not your preferred name, not a name change, how it's legally listed in Skyward, so your transcript will get sent to the college. You also want to make sure you enter the grad year to make sure we get the correct transcript over. So basic timelines, we already said that right now you should be talking to us about this admission process. What do I do? When do I apply? You need to be asking your teachers, coaches, counselors for letters of recommendation. As I said earlier, you can definitely ask us. We will do one for you. The reason why I think sometimes teachers or coaches might be more beneficial at times is if we don't know you. There's 400 of you. We will do one for you. And what's really helpful is if you do that letter of recommendation form, and even sometimes if you have a resume, because we want to write something that's personal. I don't just do a form one. I try to write something and tailor it to you, but that information really helps. Sometimes your teachers, maybe it's a favorite teacher that you really know and you develop that relationship with, that recommendation might go further in your college application than just a general letter of recommendation from us. We already talked about registering for the ACT. So September, October, we are now into October. So you should be looking at your deadlines. You should be asking for letters of recommendation. The forms are in the guidance office. You should start your FAFSA on October 1st. And we have a FAFSA night October 6th. You need to start writing your essays. November, December, maybe your deadlines are a little bit later. You're going to continue this process of filling out your applications. If you don't like your scores for your SAT and ACT, you'll get them back in about 4 weeks. That's a great time to go back into College Board or ACT.org and apply again and sign up again for your new tests, and then you can retake those tests. Because the colleges, what they do is, let's say you really want to go to University of Washington, and you didn't like your scores and you're getting ready to take them again before that November 15th deadline, the colleges will take the best of your scores. So let's say the first time you really didn't do well in math, but the next time you did better, they will take the best of your scores in your college application process. You're going to send your transcripts, which we already talked about. January, February. So remember I told you, like, this is the busiest time, and then it sort of starts to slow down in terms of college application. Well, guess what? Then it gears up. January, February, that's when you're applying for scholarships. And let me tell you, our community is amazing, gives out a lot of money. We are very, very blessed in this community for the amount of money that's given out. And let me tell you how many times kids don't apply. And sometimes it can be as simple as your resume. Sometimes it can be an essay that you already wrote for your college application, and you just tweak it to what the scholarship wants and submit it. Ms. Talley and I, over the years, have spent many, many hours running and chasing kids down saying, oh my gosh, this kid would be perfect for the scholarship, and they didn't apply. We don't want to have to do that. We want you to do that, but we will if we have to, because we want that money to be given away to you guys. So then you're looking at scholarships January, February. That's about the time that your first semester is wrapping up. Guys, they're looking at your grades from last year. They're looking at your grades from first semester, so it's really important to finish strong. You have to finish strong. Then what I will say about second semester is whatever classes you indicated you're going to take in your college application for second semester, you cannot change them. Because we have had colleges contact us and say, hey, Johnny's admitted to WSU, but I don't see them in the class that they told us that we were taking. We admitted them based on that. And they have pulled kids' acceptance. So we don't want to do that. So make sure that whatever you're indicating as your coursework for your second semester matches what you put on your college application. They want to see you not taking early outs, NTAs, or sleeping in. We want you to finish strong. And then March and April, you're going to be getting those letters back from those colleges for financial aid, and you want to start reviewing those and comparing them to see what's best for your student and your family. And then you want to start sending deposits to colleges. Excuse me. That's you.
All right.
Back up is Susie.
All right, so all of those places accept financial aid, and so please, again, don't assume anything is out of your affordability, that all of them, again, they accept and they give grants, scholarships, work studies, and loans. As you can see, I'll quickly, grants are free money. I think hopefully everybody knows that. The loans through here are subsidized or unsubsidized loans. The student wouldn't have to pay them back until they are done with school, whether they leave that campus or they graduate, and then it's 6 months after. So it's a little bit better than a loan from just your bank. And then work study for students, if you're willing to work during college, your income is subsidized by the state or federal government. And so you're kind of like free labor. I was free labor. I worked at a daycare and I was work study. So they wanted me because they didn't have to pay my salary. Someone else did. And then tuition waivers can also be applied. And you never know what you're going to qualify for. A lot of it depends on the school that you're going to, as well as your family information. So one thing that we'll do on the 5th, but I can help your child ahead of time, especially this week, because Saturday is October 1st, is get your FSA ID. Some of you with older siblings, you guys as parents, you probably have an FSA ID already, or maybe it is even for yourself. But then your child, your senior, needs one for them as well. So I can help them get that started and ready to go so that you guys could do this at home, or you could wait till the 6th when we do it together. And then, this is an old slide. You're doing the 2023, 2024 application, and you're using 2021 taxes, just FYI. I apologize for that. And as was stated already, your information will be then sent to the schools that you indicate on the application, the FAFSA, and the schools will then give you an award letter based on their finances and what they require for you. And then again, as Ms. Hayes said, compare those letters to decide where you're gonna go. Oops, I think I skipped it, okay. Nope. That's what it looks like. It's a legit site. Many merit scholarships and other aids do depend on you filing it. So I've had a lot of families say, I'm not going to file because I know we won't qualify. But schools have told me that their scholarships are based on the application, the FAFSA filing. Not that they give it based on it, but they use that information to award some merit scholarships as well. So don't assume you won't qualify for something. And then also just to have a backup plan. There's lots of options out there, and I have the list of scholarships is posted to our Career Center website. Right now, I think there's only 3 on there because it's just not a popular time right now, but as was stated in January, February, it'll become more popular. But the school's websites, the school that they're applying to has their own scholarships, including all of our tech schools and the 2-year, 4-year universities. And there's also what's called the washboard.org. No, okay, I can keep going. So the scholarships I mentioned, FastWeb scholarships.com. Those are some national websites. They're not bad necessarily, but keep in mind you're competing with the nation. The washboard.org, those scholarships have been cleared through the state as legitimate ones. Try not to search, don't just Google search scholarships and apply to those because you might get a lot of junk mail and your information might be sold. I get a lot of scholarships sent to me and I vet them. I go through and I look at them, and many of them I don't post at all to our website because they'll sell your information or they'll send you a lot of other things that you don't want. So anything that we post is community-based, or I've already looked into it and felt like, or I know it's safe. So there's a lot. Some parents are like, I heard of this scholarship, and I'm like, yeah, I chose not to do it. So you can decide for yourself. But the washboard.org is, again, a Washington State run. It's run by a group that does the same thing, and it's just for Washington residents. So your student can set up a profile, and I say it's like the dating website for scholarships in your student. They'll match them up. So yeah. The military, as I already said, comes here every Monday, but they're also available at any time. The ASVAB is a free test that students can take, not only for the graduation pathway, but also just to explore their military options. It's a great way to get training and education and serve your community or your country at the same time. So.
And so on October 21st, we are going to have a senior assembly for all of our seniors to go over and talk about graduation announcements and product and swag and things like that. I will tell you up on the table before you guys leave, there is a flyer to get you guys excited about all the different things that seniors can have for graduation, including the class rings and things like that. We have 2 great representatives that have just been rock stars with us this past year, and so most of it is digital. So you'll have to go ahead and go online and order that. Some of you can go ahead and get that done. They do payment plans, everything, but we will do an assembly to get all the seniors excited about it. And again, we'll have the flyer. There'll also be a QR code that will go along with it when we get there. But this is just to give you guys a heads up on that. And then I guess it's time for any questions or answers. Questions. We'll try and provide the answers for you. Is there any questions out there? Any?
In the back. Here, let me grab a microphone.
Here,
There's another mic right next to you. Here, I'll take
here, take that.
It's not on. Yes, it is.
It's hard to see. Questions?
Just a question regarding ordering transcripts. For Running Start students, do they have to also request that from OC?
Yes, so your Running Start transcript needs to be requested from Running Start. Your high school transcript needs to be requested through Parchment. Both, when we get Running Start grades, we do post those on there, but sometimes they want both to see the course listings.
I will say, when you're applying to colleges, though, you're still a first-year freshman. Okay, once you get accepted and you commit to that school, then you'll send your final transcripts, then they will review it, and then they will bump you up in grades. Our students who are here and doing dual credit, either through college and high school, astronomy or Spanish, we're doing dual credit through the CTE programs, where you have AP classes, the same thing will happen. You apply as a freshman, because you are your first year, and then you'll submit your test scores, your OC transcripts through dual credit, and your UW transcripts, and then they will move you up accordingly. They'll look at what they are accepting and then put you up in status. So it's a wonderful thing. If your students don't know about the CTE dual credit, we're starting to register them right now for it. So then they'll get a transcript from OC in the springtime. They don't need to worry about it right now.
Yeah, the financial student IDs, that was supposed to be done by when?
So they're talking about the financial student aid, is that the one?
ID is really just kind of like your login and username and password. Ideally, it's nice to have it done now. You can get that done now. The application doesn't come due until October 1st. But you're going to have it in order to do the application.
So we have to get in.
So I think that the clarifying question is, do I go ahead and start my FSA now and get that done? Because financial aid opens on October 1st, and obviously financial aid is kind of first come, first serve. So we want to sort of do those FSAs now, and Saturday is the opening of financial aid. So the sooner you do that, the better.
Yes. When you go to studentaid.org, it will say FSA ID, it'll say login, and then underneath it'll say create account. So you create your account. The student needs one, and one of the parents or guardians needs one. And it's 7 steps. You need your name as it appears on your social security card, and then your social security number and birth date. And then both of you will need to provide things like a good email address, and they can't be the same email, a good phone number where you can receive texts. You'll answer some security questions, or you'll create security questions and answers so that they know it's you.
Susie, can I have you talk? Can I have you talk to the mic? I'm not getting you at all on my record. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm not going to repeat myself, though. But if you want, your student can come into the Career Center. I'm sorry, Matthew, but the good people who are here don't need to hear me twice, unless I was unclear, and I'm certainly happy to repeat myself. Yeah, so after you get to the studentaid.org, it'll look like, it'll be similar to this. It won't look exactly like this, but it'll say federal student aid at the top, and then you just create your account. It'll say FSA ID and create an account. And so then you enter your information, your username you create, and you add your password. Don't lose those, because seniors, you're gonna use it every year you're in college. I see some of you. I have a daughter who just finished college and one starting, and I've used the same one, and I have forgotten, even though I do what I do, and I'm like, I don't remember my username. So there's a way to retrieve it, but try to write it down and be better than me. Yeah.
So Susie, can I get this question back here first, and then I will run up to the front because
Yep.
she's been waiting.
So my question is for the transcript. So my daughter has signed up for the SAT, but she doesn't know. I asked her about the question if she put the colleges that she wants to go to get the transcripts. So how does she find out if she did do that? Or how do we get that to do that?
So if she did not do it upon, yeah, so if you log in, she may be able to see the colleges that she indicated under her account. If she didn't do it at the time, if she didn't do it at the time of sign up though, then once the scores come back and she gets her score reports, then she can pay to send them to the colleges that she applies to.
So to clarify, she'll need to log into collegeboard.org into that account, and it should list the schools that it is being sent to. And if she doesn't have that information, because that account was created probably a long time ago when she first took her PSAT, just call the collegeboard.org customer service number. They're super helpful, and they'll help you get your login information.
So I have multiple students. This is my first senior, but I have a junior and I'll have my freshman this year. So when my students say I've created an ID for him and myself, I will have the same ID for the other two children, correct? Okay.
Correct.
That,
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify, because I'm
Yep.
like, do I have to create whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of you, again, maybe you went back to school recently. If you're like me, maybe Miss Cole, we did it on paper, so we don't have that. But if you have been attending any kind of college or trade school in the last 8-10 years, you still have your FSA ID. Yeah, it sticks with you based on your social security number.
I have a couple questions. One is, if they want to take the SAT again, will South be having another SAT here?
Yes, there's one in November and one in December.
Okay.
And if the student signs up with us up in the library, they will pay for it.
Okay.
Okay, so, but if they go through College Board to sign up for those two tests, they'll have to pay for it.
Okay, great, thank you. And then my other question, for the FAFSA, when you say that you'll send it to a school, is that multiple schools if they don't know which school they want to do yet, or do you pretty much need to know which school you want it to go to?
So this whole entire thing is free. When you, after October 1st, when you're on the 23-24 application, one of the steps asks you to list schools that you want your report sent to. You can list up to 10 at a time for free. You can go in at any time and add more schools for free. Okay, this whole financial aid, there is nothing that you pay for ever.
Okay, great.
So if you ever find one that says you have to pay, it's wrong. It's not the legit site. So, but again, you can go back in. So if your child doesn't know and they only want to list one, great. They can go back in at any time and add more.
Okay, perfect. My last question is, when is their graduation date?
June 10th.
June 10th.
We don't have a calendar in front of us.
My question is, if they use the Common App could they just use one transcript on the Common App and one financial aid on the Common App?
Yes, that's the whole reason for the Common App. It's all one, you do it one-stop shopping type of deal. It's all there.
And it's really fantastic because when your counselor and your people have to write letters of recommendation and you submit it once, we submit it one time and it goes to all the schools that you indicate.
So there's a couple different, you said financial aid, though financial aid is a totally different website, and it's not connected to the Common App at all. Okay, all 5 major universities in the state of Washington, this is their first year, they're all using the Common App, including the UW umbrella schools and the WSU umbrella schools. And so they're trying to simplify it as well. I have posted due dates onto the students' Google Classroom. It was probably a couple weeks ago, so I'll repost that as well. Trade schools and community colleges, those are rolling admissions. They're encouraging people to wait because the winter quarter is coming up for them this year. They would like seniors who want to attend next fall to maybe wait until January to apply to those schools. And they're simplifying their process too. So, yeah.
Is there any last minute questions before we wrap up tonight? If you have other questions, you can always email Ms. Nass, Ms. Talley, or myself. But if there's any more questions for the group, I'm happy to grab them. No?
Well, we would like to thank you guys for all coming out. Again, this was our first in-person, so we were pretty excited about it. Again, like Ms. Hayes said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be here to answer any questions you may have. All right? Thank you.
Thanks for coming.